Welcome to the Granite Zero podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
No, seriously, the pleasure is all mine. Like I sent to you earlier, literally 2 years to the day that I watched your documentary, and I was like, "That's madness."
That's crazy.
But
it's been 2 years already. It's nuts. Time flies.
it certainly does. It certainly does. And I have to admit, massive props to you in that documentary. The whole team, that everything behind it. It was fantastically made.
I think they did. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I think they filmed me for 10 years, so they packed all that into an hour and 39 minutes. I think they knew the picture that they wanted to draw, and they drew it very well. And I didn't understand what they wanted to gain from the documentary until I watched it. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, it came across like I said, brilliantly well. And from what I saw, there's a lot of things that I took from it, especially the leaving the family behind to go away. My third and final tour that I did, I left my little lady, who's now 11 years old. I don't know how that's happened. But I left her behind when she was so small, and that was one of the reasons why I left the military, was because I hated leaving the family behind.
Yeah, I look at, I look back and I wonder, can I swear on here?
Swear as much as you want, my son.
Okay. I gotta ask. I don't know how the fuck I did it, because I first became a single parent. I was a drill sergeant at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and I don't know how the hell I did it. Like, yeah. I remember taking them to daycare at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and they were asleep. And when I picked them up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, they were asleep. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't have somebody walking upstairs. Sorry.
That's all good. It's all good. It's a crazy thing, and I've said for God knows how long, it very much is a single, especially the likes of us who are infantry soldiers. You want to. It's a single free sort of man's game. Like you can't really have too many ties, you might say.
Yeah.
Because it makes it.
I would agree with that.
It makes it so much harder, and it's that age-old saying: a distracted soldier, well, can be a dead soldier.
Yes, and I used to tell my soldiers all the time. I'll do whatever I can to make sure your family's taken care of, because then I know your head's in the game.
Yeah. Well, cheers to that.
I need you here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So who'd you serve with? Pardon my ignorance for
no, it's fine. I served with the Air Force Regiment, so I'm trying to think of the comparison. Basically, we secure and defend airfields, but with a outer perimeter instead of being inside the wire. Defend all Air Force assets. So we worked out of Kandahar Air Base, Camp Bastion, Basra, etc.
Yep. We were way up in Kunduz, way up north by Tajikistan.
Yeah. Many.
I asked you because we jumped into Almaty, Kazakhstan back in 2000 with 10 countries, and the Scotland Guard was probably our best friends over there.
You did say.
I think I woke up one morning wearing a kilt, and the guy next to me was wearing my airborne beret. So I think we drank a lot.
Well, so you should.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. What a story that is. Yeah. I think many a good story ends up with, I think I may have drunk too much.
There's a slight possibility.
Yeah, definitely,
No,
definitely. But for those that haven't seen the documentary or don't know much about you, obviously you've got wounded in action while out there, and it was. Am I correct in saying won the Bronze Star for helping
I
the?
got
Was it
well
A
my
and P?
and Afghan National Police
Yeah, that's what
got
it was.
hit by an RPG, and his guys wouldn't go out and get him. So I just called up my commander and said I'm going, and it wasn't a. I didn't think what I was doing. I just kind of did it.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember telling my medic to park the truck in between the fire and him, and I'm gonna grab him, and we're gonna get out of here. But you know how plans go.
Mm.
So I remember jumping out of the truck, and it was I went to put a tourniquet on. I yelled at my medic, Jared Kripe, and then it was snap, snap, burn, chainsaw. So I looked
Eesh.
down, I'm like, holy shit, that just happened. And
Yeah.
then, my medic's telling me to try and crawl to him. And in my mind, I'm doing it. I'm trying to
Yeah, yeah,
crawl.
yeah.
But that's where the movies are just such bullshit. Like, you have no strength and no energy when you just took 3 bullets to your legs.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought I crawled like 10 feet, and my medic's laughing at me. He's like, dude, you crawled like not even a foot. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because the movies make out like you get this massive adrenaline rush. And...
Bullshit. But I don't remember feeling pain until I was in the MATV, and that's a design flaw of them trucks. My knees were in my chest.
Yeah, yeah.
With tourniquets on, and then I just started screaming like a little girl.
Yeah, I bet I could kind of like, because I know what it's like being in one of those when you're not injured, and
Yeah.
I'm what is known as like a combat dwarf. I'm only 5'6", so even with my tiny legs, it's not
we are
comfortable.
twins, sir. I'm 5'6".
Hey, yes,
and
there's
I
more of
told
us.
him I wish they cut off both legs so I could be taller.
You see, that's I love that. Like my wife still doesn't fully understand military humor. She's like, why would you say things like that? I went, it's funny, isn't it?
Because we can.
Because we leave camp and it could almost not come home, so we got to have some sort of sense of humor with this stuff.
Yeah.
Most
yeah,
definitely.
I got all kinds of stories. Sorry, I got my attack dog here.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Her name's Kiwi. She's crazy.
Kiwi.
But when we got her, she looked like an Ewok. I don't know if you remember the Ewoks.
Oh, of course I do. Huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah, so we named her Kiwi. But she's absolutely nuts. What was I gonna say? Oh no, the military humor you were talking about. People, the number one thing people say is, "I'm sorry you lost your leg," and I'm like, "Why are you sorry? I get like kick-ass parking." Like,
yeah, I get good parking.
Yeah. I had to change my name to Eileen, but
yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, I love all that. I do love all that. It's what keeps you sane. It's like you go through a traumatic event as you did, and you got to deal with it somehow. Otherwise, it's going to sort of eat away at you a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely use humor as my. I don't know if it's a cover up or if it's my therapy. I mean,
it could well be. Could be.
Yeah, bass fishing is definitely my therapy. That's where I get into my zen. And
do you know? I actually I read an article the other day from a British media outlet. I'm not sure which one it was, and they were saying that they are starting to prescribe fishing for sufferers of PTSD to obviously get them out in the open, etc.
So when I was at Fort Drum in what they call the Warrior Transition Unit, the WTU, they had there was 14 of us that were combat wounded and like 300 that just didn't want to go to combat because they were a bunch of little bitches. But I talked to my therapist, and I said, I can't, I'm recovering from 3 gunshot wounds. Like, I hate these motherfuckers I'm standing with in formation. Like, I'm standing next to this chick that's got pink shoes on and she's wearing pink gloves because she has severe anxiety. And I'm like, we're not in the same category. Like, get me the fuck away from this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said, can I go fishing? Can you write that up? So I got to go fishing from 7 to 3 every day.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. I'm not a huge fisher. As a lot of good buddies of mine that would listen go, Tommo, shut up, you don't fish. But when I have been out fishing, it is therapeutic. It certainly is. You're out in nature. It's quiet.
What I do tournament bass fishing. So anything I catch, I throw back. I don't bring it home and eat it. But I think I like the tournaments. Just I'm like crazy competitive.
Oh yeah,
so I think that
a former wrestler as well.
Oh yeah. The town we live in, we actually moved here specifically for wrestling. I don't know if you've seen the little shit running up the stairs.
No.
That's little Jackson. That was.
I did see
born in the video.
Yes, I did see the little nugget come down the stairs at some point.
So he had his first year of wrestling, and I think he did okay.
Oh, my man.
Yeah. He's 5 years old and got like 6 medals already.
He's not fucking about. He is not fucking about.
No, he's daddy's kid. He is a little beast.
It is because obviously over here in the UK, it's not very big. In fact, unless you're partaking in mixed martial arts, you're very rarely gonna touch wrestling. But from what I've seen, from what I've done in different training aspects, it fucking hell, it's a killer. It is competitive. It is hard as shit, and you do get humbled. You get humbled as fuck.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing I learned in wrestling, and wrestling stuck with me my entire life. Like, the lessons you learn in wrestling, and it's when you're out on that mat. If you win, it's all you.
Oh yeah.
If you lose, it's all you. Like, I think that's what I love about it. It's your turn to beat the shit out of somebody and not get in trouble, and he can do the same to you.
Yeah. So you can literally beat someone up. It's the same with boxing and other combats. You get to beat people up and not get in trouble for it. What's not to like about that?
Yeah, he likes it. I just think it teaches you a lot of discipline, and
I agree.
I think wrestlers are some of the most humble people you'll ever meet sports wise, because they have to control their anger.
Yeah, it's very similar to the life of an infantryman as well, because you have to be on that borderline of aggressive. You have to be willing to take action. You have to be willing to take life if you need to. But also, you can't just walk around like that all the time. You have to control that. So you can sort of see the parallels between wrestling and being in the military.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless you're wearing pink gloves and pink shoes, then. What?
Like,
why are you there?
Are we in the same formation? I think it was weak leadership that let her do it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, at that time, I was a newly promoted master sergeant, so I was an E8. And being in the wounded unit, I had to show up every morning and report to a staff sergeant, so 2 ranks below me. And I had to stand in formation reporting, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm like, why? Did I do something wrong? Like, I thought,
yeah, I thought it was a chain unit. I thought it was a chain of command for a reason.
Yeah, well, I was like, I'm still a master sergeant, right? Well, yeah. Well, don't I get afforded the respect that comes with that? Why am I being treated? Well, you're a patient. I said, well, give me a fucking gown. Like, why am I still wearing a uniform?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm a patient, treat me like a patient. If I'm a master sergeant, treat me like a master sergeant. Otherwise, and I don't know if I won that thing or not, but I got to go do what I wanted.
You got to do what you wanted. So I'm gonna throw it out there. I think you won that argument. I think.
Yeah.
It's also one of those as well. Like we always had it. Like, obviously, there's a rank structure for a reason. So if you're, like you said, if you're a staff sergeant and he's two ranks below you, then hey, motherfucker, don't talk down to me. I'm above you. You get an officer in here, or a warrant officer,
Well,
or something.
I felt bad for her because it was a female staff sergeant. I felt bad for her because she always treated me with the utmost respect.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she
yeah.
was super cool. Her job was to make sure I made all my appointments. But I'm like, you know, the VA, when you're in that wounded unit, they want to put you on every kind of drug just so they can put their little green check mark on their checklist to make sure, yep, he's being controlled. But I didn't take pills. I hated them. When I got shot, they had me on everything known to man. And if I can say this on live camera, I woke up at 2 a.m. and I had stuff covering me that I didn't know where it came from. And I just knew I didn't want anybody to see me like that. So I unplugged all my machines, shut off all my alarms, and cleaned myself up, and then hooked everything back up and got back in my bed. And nobody knew the difference. But when that day happened, I said, no more. No more pills. And it sucked for like 3 days. But
of course, you lasted a long time going through all the pain with your leg before you had it amputated.
4 years. Yep.
4 years. I have a friend that's recently done something very similar. He in Afghanistan, he had his Achilles tendon severed by some shrapnel, and obviously it healed, but it never healed correctly.
Yeah.
And recently he's just had his friend removed.
Cut sling load. Cut that fucker off.
Yeah, because it obviously it must be a tough decision.
It is, and you're limited. I mean, there's stuff you can't do, but in other words, you can do it. You just got to find a different way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not running a 10-miler anymore, but I can still get on my recumbent laydown bike and go for a bike ride. You know, but then, you know,
I don't think I've ever run a
10-miler. Oh my God. Jesus. I was in so many military units that we'd run 10 miles every Monday. I remember long range surveillance. First Sergeant Ulibarri was an absolute beast, and he would take us on wonder runs. And you ran by the company headquarters like 5 times during that 10-mile run. You just wonder when it's going to end. So he called them wonder runs. What are you drinking?
I am drinking American's Own Buffalo Trace whiskey.
Buffalo Trace, good stuff.
Yeah. It's got to be done.
Mine's Woodford Reserve.
Oh, nice. Cheers again, my man. Cheers again.
So you see this?
Oh, we got.
Can you see?
Oh, you.
There we go.
Ah.
Oh, God, I'm screwing this up. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's 3 bullets in that glass.
I saw one of the bullets. Oh, yep, there they are. Bosh. Look at that.
So we have about an hour away. There's this company called Ben Shot, Benshot. It's in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And they make these glasses, and you can do whatever caliber bullet you want, golf balls, arrowheads from a bow. But I got to go there and make this glass.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I did it with 3 .308 rounds because that's the caliber that I was hit with. And then it says my wounded date. It's engraved on the glass.
That's awesome.
So that was a nice little gift. So I drank all my whiskey out of that.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't blame you. Blame you. That's awesome.
Well, the bullets make good little handles. You know, you just put your finger on there.
Your fingers on it, just relaxes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I love things like that.
I got all kinds of little
trinkets. I was about to say, I love little trinkets. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just finished some rum from a veteran company over in the UK. They do it's called Black Ops rum.
Okay.
I love the fucking bottle. It's fucking cool as fuck.
Oh, nice. Do they ship to the US?
I believe so. I'll send you the link afterwards. But that
Like
blend,
$20 for a bottle of rum and 50 for shipping.
probably. So that rum is the blend that they've done there is especially for my regiment. So I was like, can I try some of that? And they went, yeah, and then they sent me a bottle out, and I was like, and I'm not just saying this because it's my regiment blend, but it's the nicest spiced rum I've ever had. I was like, this is fantastic.
I would love to try some. Yeah, I will definitely look it up. We went to the Bahamas in March, and I got some Bahama rum from their factory down there. I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to open it.
I haven't opened it.
I wanted to keep it, but then I was like, I gotta try this. But then
Yeah,
I've kept the bottle. The bottle's got to be kept. The bottle's got to be kept.
absolutely. Put it up on the shelf. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be upgrading the what I call the shedio, which is my shed/studio. So I can get a few more guests actually inside instead of remote. Now that the pandemic is deleted itself after Russia attacking Ukraine.
Yeah, no kidding. You got to go out and find you a whiskey sponsor. See if Black Ops will sponsor you.
Yeah, I've been trying to get some sponsors, but it's funny because because I'm small and don't have a huge following. Everyone's like, well, what can you do for me? It's like, I'm still growing. Help a brother out.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Frag Out podcast?
No, I haven't. But I'm
okay. So that's in Appleton, the same town that glass company I told you about is. He's a National Guard or Wisconsin National Guard guy that started Frag Out podcast.
Yeah.
And his name's Ryan Longren. And he started out smaller than you. Like, you got nice equipment. And now he's getting big. And, he's got Black Rifle Coffee. You got to reach out to Black Rifle Coffee. Does the UK got a Black Rifle Coffee kind of?
We have, it's very oversaturated with veteran coffee companies. It seems that's all the veterans do is drink coffee apparently these days. There's loads. There's loads out there.
Coffee and hate.
Yeah, you got it. But yeah, I like you said, I started out literally recording off my iPhone, and it's only
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it started me off. It was fantastic. Yeah, the only things that nothing has been bought for me apart from my MacBook, which was bought by my dad, so I'm a daddy's boy.
Well, I'm saying you get like Black Rifle Coffee or your local guys, and they give you cups, like you hand out a cup to everybody.
Yeah.
And then that's like marketing. Like that's how I started drinking Black Rifle Coffee. Is I went to the Frag Out podcast, and he gave me a grenade glass. It was shaped in a grenade, and I'm like, well, I'm going to try this coffee. So I signed up. So if they don't think marketing works at the smallest level, they're fucking nuts.
Yeah. Well,
it does.
Those listening,
you've
been told.
You know what I was always. Can you hear me? You're frozen.
No, I can hear you still. I can still hear you.
Okay. My dad used to tell me, he's still alive, but he used to tell me all the time, it's always no unless you ask.
Yeah, true. That's a good saying. I like that saying.
Just get out there and do it.
Yeah. One thing I was gonna pick your brain at. Obviously, 4th of July. Yeah. Yet another mass shooting, as they say. Obviously, a military guy. You're going to be pro gun, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it ain't the gun.
No, and that's what I was trying. I had a friend of mine send me a message, and he was like, "You guys have fired all these types of military grade weapons." I hate that saying. What is it like? And I was like, well, the gun's not going to do anything unless the firer fires it. It's not a gun problem. It's a mental health issue that seems to be the problem.
Yeah, it's I blame the parents.
Yeah.
It's the parents. Like, it's the upbringing. Like, You know, my 5-year-old already knows, don't touch my fucking gun without this or that. And, you know, he knows the rules.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm, you know, that whole gun debacle with, you know, following the rules. And when I got out of the military, I was living in New York. So I wasn't allowed to own a pistol without a permit.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted concealed carry, that was like a year-long process, and it was just stupid. So when I moved back home to Wisconsin, the first thing I did is I bought a pistol. Do you want to see my pistol?
Of course I do. I miss all that shit. But that is a sexy pistol.
That is considered
That's considered a pistol.
This falls under concealed carry in Wisconsin.
Well, like, where are you going to?
Where am I going to put this thing?
Well,
but it actually
you could take your leg off and use it as a leg.
It actually goes in my. I got a holder in my truck where it's in center console.
Jesus Christ!
But it's not. You know, that whole debacle, it's not the gun. Like you think, go ahead, make all your freaking rules. Like I live 4 hours from Chicago, where there's like literally 30 shootings in a weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's just retarded.
Yeah,
and
I did bring
that
up.
There's no guns allowed there.
Yeah, I brought that up as well. I was like, yes, there's been a couple recently, but it's not like it's every fucking day that there's a mass shooting, as it were.
Right.
Or a school shooting. But when it does happen, it's like, oh my God, take all their guns, take them all. But
give me $20 an hour, I'll go sit in front of a school.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well done.
Yeah, it's the
okay.
same with.
I'm on a podcast. Sorry.
That's fine. It's fine. But it's as you know, you shouldn't touch a weapon until you've been trained on it. You should.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why the military go through hours upon hours and refreshers upon refreshers of weapon handling tests and drills and ranges, etc. Because you need to, because it is dangerous. And I saw an argument there was quite funny. It was a British journalist trying to talk to a Second Amendment or pro Second Amendment lady. I don't know who she was. And she was like, you've had another mass shooting, take all your guns away. And she was like, in the UK, you've got the highest knife crime rate, but yet people still can walk the streets with knives. It's like, oh yeah, you got a good point.
Like, do I think the background checks and all that need to be done? Absolutely. But you know 100%. What? You're not going to know I'm going to do something until I decide to do it. Like, how do you stop that?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, increase the, you know, I forget, it was 2 shootings ago, you know, they knew the kid was posting on Facebook all these threats, like they should have checked him immediately, and they never did. So maybe they need to increase social media awareness, because a lot of it's just attention. They just want attention.
Yeah, of course.
You know, that's like, I thought you were going to talk about fireworks and veterans. I'm like,
no, we'll get to that in a minute. we'll get to the fact that you guys beat us at the War for Independence.
I never heard anything in Afghanistan that sounded like a cherry blossom, so I'm just saying.
Yes, I've had this discussion with many veterans, many especially infantrymen, and even those that served alongside me, that we got rocket attacks daily, and they don't sound like fireworks.
No, it's attention.
Yes, but same with many things. If it catches you off guard, you're going to hear a bang. You might jump, but it's not going to give me a flashback of.
That's anybody, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
I've got a few farmers' fields out the back of my house, and you hear them with their shotguns and things like that, popping off rounds, killing rabbits or whatever. If anything's
Yep.
gonna give you a little flashback, not saying that I'm gonna get a flashback to all the trolls out there, it would be gunshot fire, not a firework.
Yeah. I had my little guy at the we have a little county park that has like deer and goats and a couple bobcats, and it's just somewhere to go and throw a quarter in the machine, get a handful of corn, and feed the goats, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's up on this. It's an old quarry, so it's up on the hill, and we're feeding the goats, and all of a sudden we hear kaboom. I'm like, that was a fucking gun. Like, what was that?
Yeah.
So, I got concealed carry, so I'm like, I'm going to check this out. Maybe there's somebody down there shooting the bobcat or something. I didn't fucking know. Well, I get down there and it's this old dude and his wife, and they blew a tire.
Jesus, yeah.
So I'm like, God, dude, you scared the shit out of me. Like, but it
holy
wasn't
shit,
like,
dude! I almost shot you.
You know what I mean? I wasn't like freaked. I wasn't freaked out, like scared. I went towards it.
Yeah, yeah. Towards the fire. Towards the fire.
Yeah.
How many deployments did you do? Just one.
Just one. One combat deployment. Yeah. So let's see. When Saddam amassed on the border,
yeah,
I was a drill sergeant, so I couldn't deploy like that. I think the next time there was any sort of combat, I was an observer controller in Germany, so I didn't go then. And then, so this was all during the time that I was a single parent.
Yeah, yeah.
So I never asked for a special duty station. I think I did when I came back from Germany, because I was trying to fight for custody of my youngest son, the one that was killed. Yeah. So I went what they call in the U.S. Army TDA, 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 which is 3 training assignments in a row, which is career suicide. If you want to get promoted, you need to go TDA, maneuver unit, TDA,
got you. Yeah,
deployable unit, that kind of thing. I went TDA, TDA, TDA. So that wasn't a good choice, but it wasn't my choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they sent me there. I think Big Army knew I was a single parent. So then once I got to I went to the University of Wisconsin La Crosse as an ROTC, and I was a training NCO. So I got to like order helicopters to bring the chancellor into the football games, and fun stuff. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But then I did the NCO of the Year competition, and I made it all the way to the Pentagon. And the minute I walked into the formal board, and there was 6 division sergeant majors and the sergeant major of the Army, and they saw a Ranger tabbed E7 in an ROTC unit, they said not no, but fuck no.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, I got orders to the 10th Mountain Division. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet. But it's crazy though that it seems to be like the way that you've obviously. I used to call it the death list. So if you had something that you needed to get home for, you were higher up on the death list, as it were. So on my second deployment, I was engaged to my now wife. She was also pregnant with my eldest child. So it's like, well, Tommo, you're top of the death list, mate. You've got loads to come back for. You ain't coming back, mate. It's like, yeah, fuck.
Yep.
And you go out on your deployment.
Training deployments. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been Kazakhstan, I've been to Romania, Bulgaria, little stuff, but combat deployment's just one. But sometimes I'll get in a little mini argument with veterans because they just want to tell me how great they are and how long their penis is. And I just look at them, I'm like, how many deployments do I need, like, to be cool?
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
And I'm like, really? Okay, that's great. You have three. I'm sorry, but how many do I need to be part of your
I,
club?
I,
Like,
I literally,
or
I
your inner
literally,
circle.
I literally had this argument with a troll of mine. That he was arguing with me about the fact that on my final deployment, I was in the command center. I was a radio geek. I was on the comms. So he was like, "You never left the wire." I was like, "On which one? Which tour did I not leave the wire? What are you talking about?" And he was like, "What do you mean, which tour?" I went, "Well, was it Iraq, Afghanistan, or Afghanistan the second time?" And he was like, "Oh, so you've only done three tours? That's cute." And it's like, exactly like you. Well, how many am I supposed to do until?
Yeah.
But,
I'm
well,
like, dude, I did 20 and a half years in the Army. Like,
yeah,
when is it? Like, I did what I was told. Like, what do you want me to do?
yeah, it's a fucking madness. So the logic
It's just
behind people.
it's a big dick contest. That's all it
Oh,
is.
definitely, definitely.
I'll be
And
like, let's take our DD-214s and compare them.
yeah, definitely. And
Because
it's
everything I got behind that wall behind me
yeah,
doesn't pay the electric bill.
no, it doesn't. It looks good on the wall though. It looks good on the wall.
There's 4 generations back there.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Oh,
Brian,
yeah.
I'm gonna quickly pause it.
Yep.
We got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna send you a new link and
Okay.
we'll continue.
Okay.
This is why I hate Zoom so much.
So leave this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this one and then I'll resend the
Okay.
link and then we'll reappear and carry on.
Sounds good, brother.
Like nobody would notice. We'll pause for the
Okay.
ads.
Yep.
I think we're back.
Well, holy smokes, that took a sweet ass time.
It did, didn't it? I think it might be
Oh my god.
it might be my internet booster might not be working very well. But we
so
shall.
you remember at the end of the documentary you saw that little shit being born?
Yeah. Not so little shit anymore. There he is.
There he is.
Little champ.
Give a thumbs up.
Wrestling champ.
Okay, go on. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
He's a little stocky little shit. He's gonna be what we call us 5'6" people, teenage mutant ninja midgets.
I like that. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that from now on.
Yeah.
Seeing as I am one. So.
We're power midgets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful. I refer to myself as a pack
ruck
horse.
marches
Yeah.
were nothing because we just go.
Yeah. Pack horses.
Yeah.
Load me up and
Exactly.
send me on my way.
That's why I think Ranger school was kind of easy walking up and down, the Dahlonega Mountains because it's just go, and then you see the tall guys struggling because they're tall.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't understand what it's like having these powerful little legs.
Just go.
Just go. So four generations.
I remember, what are they saying?
Oh no, carry on.
Yeah. I remember, I was going to say in Ranger school, they were like, Rangers, you're going to want to quit 3 times while you're here in Ranger school. I'm like, motherfucker, I want to quit 3 times a day. But then you just, you look to your left and right and you're like, okay, he's got it a little worse than me. Keep going.
Yeah.
So I just kept going. Like, just as long as you keep going forward, you don't have, your body quits your head quits way before your body does.
Yeah.
Just go. And it's like, fuck, I'm hungry.
Yes. Always hungry. Still am.
And you look back at like Dahlonega, the mountain phase, they had like these blueberry pancakes and they tasted like absolute ass. and they gave you so much food in that chow hall because you got to eat in the chow hall like 10 days, and then it was
Yeah.
11 days where you ate MREs.
Oh,
And then I look back, I'm like, how the fuck did I eat all that? Like, that's a lot of food.
that's so much food. It's funny because I'm the
Yeah.
same. So going through, even when I was on station, I'd eat like a king because I knew that I'm doing fizz fucking basically all day. And
Yep.
but I kept the same appetite when I left.
Oh shit.
And I was like,
Well,
oh, why am I so big? Oh, I know why. I know.
I think I was a bad soldier because the dietitians told us not to eat the local food.
Oh, we used to eat the local food.
But goddamn, the foot bread and the
Yeah,
I forget what it was. It was like
we call it toenail bread.
Oh my god, it was so fucking good.
So good.
But then we'd go in the early morning and they cooked this like egg potato like pancake looking thing.
Ooh.
And it had lamb meat in it and rice and oh my fuck. But my stomach's been fucked up ever since.
Oh, my wife always says to me, she's like, you never get like food sickness ill. You never poorly after eating. I went, you do know I lived in Afghanistan for a long time.
Yeah. I ate, they fertilize with human shit,
yes,
right?
Yeah. Well, even worse. So in Kandahar, our compound where we would set off from, literally was next to the human waste pit, which was known as Poo Pond. It was a giant pond in the middle of Kandahar Air Base that was just full of human shit. And I believe a US Marine
disgusting.
was, I don't know if he was dead or if it was a bet, but yeah, he jumped in that. He had a great time.
Why the fuck would you do that?
Because he's a Marine and he ran out of crayons.
You ever see what a Marine does when a helicopter flies overhead?
No, you tell me. Oh God, that's
Hey,
good.
you want to know how great the Marines are?
You tell me.
Just ask them.
Yes.
Ask them, they'll tell
you. Yes. It's the same over here. It's the same over here. It's the same over here.
Christ. I'm like, nobody says the Marines are the best except for the fucking Marines. Like, okay, dude, tell your story.
Oh. Have you got a few more? Have you got a few more stories?
For the Marines, but Jesus Christ, get off your high horse.
We have the same with our
like if you were a cook, it's fine. Just be a cook.
Yeah. Our Marines and our parachute.
Oh, they
regiment,
do that? They're like, oh, we're the parachute.
Yeah, at the Marines and the parachute regiment. Those of you that are listening, you are the fucking same. Oh, sorry. How good are you again? Oh, yeah,
I got a lot of.
It's refreshing.
I got a lot of Marine buddies.
Yeah,
I've
got.
I bring them a.
I had
bring them a stuffed animal and a couple crayons, and they're good.
They're good to go. They're good to go. Oh, that's brilliant. But yeah, we're the same over here. It's funny.
As long as they're not in the Coast Guard, right?
Apparently so. Well, to be fair, we don't really have a Coast Guard like you guys do, which is strange considering we're an island. I never thought. I really just thought about it.
You're in Ireland?
We are an island. We're just our own little island, don't we? I'm not in Ireland personally.
Oh, an island.
Yeah,
okay,
an island, not Ireland. Not okay. Ireland. But yeah, it's strange.
Well, it's funny when you're in a group like at a veteran event. When you're at a veteran event and this guy comes up, he's like, "Hey guys, I was in the Coast Guard," and we're all looking at him like, "Dude, you don't count."
Cool story, bro. I'll see you later.
Come here, little guy. Let me give you a hug.
Let me give you a hug. Do you want a beer? Are you old enough to have a beer? I don't know.
Yeah, but then you go look and see what they do. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah.
Like, I'd join the Coast Guard in a heartbeat.
The only
I think
real
I'm losing you.
I think we're getting back. A bit of interference. The only real information I've got on your Coast Guard is literally the movie The Guardian with Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher, and I was like, that's cool. I want to be I want to be a diver. I want to go save people.
They're actually really cool. I love, doing the inter-service rivalry shit, but they're actually some really good dudes.
It's
like, it doesn't matter what service you're in. Like,
no,
when you get out, it doesn't matter anyways.
I like it as well because obviously you give into regiment, into squadron, into unit sort of banter, you could say, bit of back and forth. But as soon as a civilian says anything, you're like, hey, motherfucker, you don't fucking know.
Time out.
You shut your mouth.
Time out.
Yeah. So we mentioned
there's going to be 3 hits.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, we mentioned before before we took the break for the ads. So the 4 generations, is that granddad, dad, yourself, and then your boy, or is your boy not added to the collection yet?
Yeah. Great grandpa, dad, me, Jackson. So no, it'd be grandpa. Our great grandpa was in, but I don't have any proof.
Got you.
So
got you.
What I have proof of behind me is grandpa, my dad, me, and then Isaac. Isaac only did, a lot of people don't even know this from the documentary, but he did 3 years as a parachute rigger and then got out. So he's now living in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, cool.
So
cool. Yeah. Well, he's still served. I'm 3 generations in, and I'm trying to convince one of my daughters to join the Air Force.
2 years. That's all you gotta do. Do your shit. Salute your country, and you can never say you didn't.
So so it started off with my granddad. My granddad was a aircraft technician. Then my dad, he was a parachute jumping instructor. That is cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a jump instructor. He ended up working as part of special forces, teaching them how to jump out of airplanes. And then myself, and I like to refer to myself as the only one that's cool because I was in the infantry.
There's 2 MOSs in the Army: infantry and those that support the infantry.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually going to bring up, if it was okay with you, about your son that tragically passed away.
Yeah.
I don't know if you mind talking about that at all. Because
pictures of little shit down here.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Brian. When that happened on the documentary, I blubbered like a little girl. I was not expecting it, and I was like, oh God. I was that invested in the documentary, and I've seen it a couple of times since as well. And every time I get that lumpy throat, I'm like, as a father myself, it's you're not supposed to bury your kids.
No, and I say that all the time. You're supposed to bury your parents and your grandparents. You don't bury your kid. So, and sadly, I meet a lot of people that are in a club we never volunteered to be in, I guess.
Yeah.
But I tell everybody, I don't call it PTSD because I don't think it's a disorder. I think it's a normal reaction to something traumatic, and it doesn't have to be military. And I think I have more PTS from losing my son than I do having been shot 3 times.
I as a father, I can empathize with that because
mainly because I think every day I replay it in my head, and I think I can change it. And I can't, because he's not coming back. Like, I think the morbid stuff that's going to kill me at a young age is the shit that goes through my head right now. Like, what would he look like if he was still alive he'd be 20, I think. And then the morbid side of me kicks in. What does he look like right now?
I got you.
6 feet underground. It's like, I know where my boy is. He's only, we flew him from New York where he was killed. We flew him to Wisconsin. He's buried about an hour away from where we live now. But I go visit him all the time, and do I look behind the headstone and vision him being in his casket? Because I know exactly where his head is. I know exactly where his feet are. Yeah, that's the shit that goes through my head. Why through my head? I don't fucking know. Like, show me the book that says how I'm supposed to act.
Yeah.
Because I haven't read it. I haven't seen it.
No, I've said that a few times on here. Nobody teaches you how to deal with grief. Everybody deals with it differently, and honestly, I can't even imagine. Don't even want to imagine.
I remember when he was on life support in the intensive care. I remember laughing in there. I walked around and I lifted up the sheet and I saw his toes, and they were dirty. I said, "Yeah, that's Joey." Like, I think it was a shock comment. Yeah. I was in shock. I don't know. I mean, they didn't really say on the documentary what happened.
No, they didn't.
The wife and I were getting ready. To go to had the opportunity to fish with a pro bass fisherman, Edwin Evers, and we were headed up to have dinner with him the night before the fishing tournament. And Joey had said, "Hey, I need to go get my iPod from Marshall's house. That's his best friend, and it's 2 hills down the country road, and people drive like fucking idiots on that road." So I said, stay in the ditch, stay in the grass, stay off the fucking road. Yeah, Dad. I said, "I'll give you a ride." He's like, no, I got it. And it was just weird how he completely refused any help. Fast forward 7 years, I think it was for a reason. I think I'd have called myself crazy 20 years ago for thinking the way I think now, but I think it was for a reason. I think there was a purpose behind all of this. Joey did it for a reason. I don't know. It was just his time, but I remember we were getting ready to go on this fishing thing. He said, "Dad, I'm going to go." I'm like, "Okay." So we pulled down to the end of the driveway, gave him a high five. I said, "You stay off that fucking road. I love you." And 10 minutes later, we got a phone call. "Hey, they're looking for you." So why are they looking for me? They found dog tags, and you were just, so they said, "Call this number." So my buddy gives me the number, and I call him, and it's a kid that he's an EMT, and his kid wrestles with Joey. And he's like, "Hey, I got your son in the ambulance. He was hit by a truck. We're on our way to upstate. Everything's okay." Well, everything is okay is what he was trained to say to keep me calm.
Keep you calm, yeah.
But basically, he was trying to cross the road at the bottom of the hill. Yeah, he was trying to cross the road at the bottom of the hill, and this man wasn't paying attention where he was going. Came across the center line into a river. He hit Joey at 50 miles an hour, launched him 12 feet forward, hit him again, drug him 125 feet up the hill where his shoes were flying off. Joey fell off the bike fell off the truck after 125 feet. The guy kept going over the hill, went to the neighbor's driveway. That's where the bike fell off. He backed up, said he was trying to get cell service. Never once checked on Joey. Bottom line, he was brain dead. That's the Joey story. But
yeah,
do I miss him? Do I wish I could rewind it and take it all over? Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think Joey has also given us a fresh look at everything. I think I was headed in a bad direction after that happened. I'd be a liar if I didn't say I didn't Google this guy's house and what he drove and where he was. And
yeah, of course.
I bought a lot of ammo. My job is to defend my son's honor, because the police department put 100% blame on Joey and 0% on the driver of a motor vehicle. And I find that very odd coming from a law enforcement family, because you're automatically 30% at fault because you're there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, but none of it's going to bring him back. But
No.
Joe, or 2 years after he was kicked, we had Jackson. I think Jackson brought Dad back out of a very black hole.
Yeah.
And now I got a purpose again in a little kid that doesn't let me sit down for more than 3 minutes.
He keeps you hopping on that leg, is what he does.
Yeah, dude, that little shit. He doesn't care that I'm missing a leg. He to him it's normal. It's kind of like being in the military with. It's like military members with race. We don't know what race is.
Yes.
But with him, he doesn't know I'm missing a leg.
That is. Do you know what? I had an argument with. I think it. Do you know what? I even think it was a family member on Facebook. It was fucking stupid, really. But they were like, "Oh, it was all during the Black Lives Matter thing," and I was like, "I'm confused because I don't see color." And they were like, "Well, you should."
That's a money-making scheme, is what Black Lives Matter is.
I was like, "But that's a man. It's not. If I say he's a black man, then he's a black man, or a Asian man, he's an Asian man. But if he's a man, then he's just a man, or a woman, or trans. I don't know about that. But do you know what I mean? It takes me back to I actually quite like this movie. You probably won't. But it takes me back to the opening scene in Jarhead, where he says, "You're no longer black, brown, yellow, whatever. You are now green." And he's like, that's how I see it. We're all one. We're just humans. And yeah, that was a hell of a tangent from what we were just talking about. we just had a very in-depth discussion about the unforeseen circumstances of the loss of your son to race.
No, it's fine. Well, I remember I was a squad leader. I was in a squad leader in the 82nd in the first of the 504th back in 98, 99. And I was due for the next new private in my squad because I was short a guy. And this kid came in and he was a PT stud, 300. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting a stud. And then I was told, nope, you can't get him. You already got 2 black guys in your squad.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's where I learned, okay, it's still here.
Yeah. It's strange.
Sadly.
It's strange.
Yeah. What's up, champ?
There he is. He's itching. He's like, I want to be on the podcast with Dad. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he wants to go outside.
He's hovering.
All right, that's enough.
Is it just wrestling he does, or is he play any other contact sports, football or anything?
Fishing with me. He's gonna do baseball, but we missed it. Just we're new to the area, so I didn't catch the T-ball schedule. But he goes fishing with me 3 times a week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I've got daughters. They're into gymnastics and dance, but my youngest has just got into, I'm going to say it because you're American, she's just got into soccer, which is what we would call football because you actually use your feet. Anyway, that's another story.
I'm a diehard Packers fan, you know.
I know, right? I've seen it.
Okay.
But yeah, so she's just got into soccer, and without any sort of push from me, it was awesome. She was like, "Dad, can we go to soccer training?" I was like, "Fucking right, you can, definitely." And then,
absolutely.
And then my eldest got my eldest got the green-eyed monster. My eldest is so funny because she's all limbs. So when she runs, she looks like Phoebe from Friends, and her arms are everywhere, her legs are everywhere. And she was like, "Dad," "Dad, I want to play. I want to play as well." And I was like, I asked you to play before, and you said you don't want to do it." And she was like, "Yeah, but Sophia's doing it. I want to do it. I was like, oh, I see what it is. You've got fear of missing out, is what you've got. And then,
yeah, but the nice thing about that sport is it's cheap. You buy a ball, you're good,
yep,
right? And some
exactly.
shoes,
Yeah,
maybe some socks.
100%. Yeah, but tell you what, it's madness. So they both do gymnastics, and they're both very good at gymnastics. The fees for them to sign in just to do the gymnastics is like nearly $100 or pounds like a month. It's like, this is madness.
A month?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like when
Yeah.
you sign up for like wrestling here,
Mm-hmm.
it's $50, and that's to rent your singlet, your uniform.
Yeah, yeah.
And then at the end of the year, when you give the singlet back, you get your $50 back.
Oh, I know. It's madness.
Because we do fundraisers and all that crazy shit.
It's
I gotta walk because little man's outside.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. The mad thing is the gymnastics team that they represent is a lottery funded team. Like three of the competitors all represent Great Britain, so they're all funded by the Olympic Committee and the lottery. And it's like, so why am I paying?
So they don't need money.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't need money. They're just
greedy.
That's crazy. This is
everything's on the up.
It's a fucking mess right now, but this is my baby.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Get out on that. Yeah. Catch those fish.
It only does 82 miles an hour on the water.
Fucking hell! That's fucking madness.
Hey, I gotta have my adrenaline fix, right?
Yeah, you do. Apparently so. That's brilliant.
I've only gone that fast once.
Once and once only.
Yeah.
So, is a question for you. So,
yep.
What was the transition like with you going from obviously having two legs, but obviously one giving you so much pain that obviously you had to have it amputated, to then getting the prosthetic on? What, obviously you see bits of it in the documentary, but what was the transition like? Like, was it difficult to learn that obviously you don't have the bottom part of your leg?
So there's a lot of stuff they don't tell you about that you just kind of learn by yourself. But in the documentary, you see me yelling at a nurse.
Yes.
And she's actually a pain management specialist. And she was telling me that I was doing something wrong and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. And that's why my leg wasn't healing and I wasn't in a prosthetic. Well, fast forward 2 months from where they recorded me cussing her out, and they found a stitch that the intern doctor didn't pull out of my leg. So that open wound I had that I was bitching about, that I said something's wrong.
Yeah.
And they finally said, oh yeah, we still got a stitch in there. So I was right. They were wrong. That's one of my feel good moments. But transition wise, it was kind of like, I think people take like running for granted.
Yeah.
Psych myself up because that's some scary shit, because it's a lot of pain dealing with, hey, I got to go for a run kind of thing. But because I can't run like, a normal run. So I do like biking.
Yeah.
But it's like walking. I tell everybody it's like walking around. But my God, my leg. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
sorry. I think it's switching between cell service and Wi-Fi.
I got you.
So I'm gonna go back in.
Yeah, it did sort of cut out a little bit.
No, transition is just like, it's like now I know I want my leg to feel like a club. Like I don't want any nerves in my leg. I don't want any muscles working. I just want it to feel like a club, and I want it as tight as possible. And I don't want to feel anything. So like 4 years ago, I had them cut out all the nerves. A bunch of them grew back, so that's still a battle I'm fighting. But I got my leg cut off in 2014, so it's been 8 years, and I'm still not comfortable, but I'm getting there. So I tell people you get two choices in life, up or down. Which way you want to go?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating. I've had well, you congratulations, you are now my third amputee that's been on my podcast.
So hold on.
No,
I saw your last one, so we
fourth.
gotta do something here. If I can get this thing to work. How do you do this? I can't do it. Here. There she is. That's my leg.
Hey! And you're now my second to pull off a leg. Love all that. I love all that.
Yeah, I saw your one where you pulled out. Well, you saw in the documentary how I got that sock on with a little face.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids love it when I do my little impersonation. Yeah.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
I don't know if you want to see, but that's what skin grafts look on a gunshot.
Oh, look at that.
That actually causes me a lot of pain because there's a lot of tissue there that's got to be like accounted for.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
It's a hell of a transition, and I admire everybody that's had gone through. I say the transition like you're a fucking transgender. Jesus Christ!
Who was the last one that showed you his leg? What was his name?
Oh, you've put me on the spot now. I should know this stuff.
Well, anyways, I'll just tell you. It was funny because he goes, in the amputee world.
Yes,
he said I'm considered a scratch, and it's funny because I laughed my ass off when I heard that, because I got to go to a convention where Travis Mills was at. He's a quadruple amputee that does the Travis Mills Foundation. Great guy.
Yeah.
But I went up and introduced myself, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know who you are. You're Paper Cut." And I just looked at him. I'm like, "Well played, sir. Well played." Like to a quadruple amputee, I'm a fucking Paper Cut.
Yes. Mike Lewis. Mike Lewis was the man himself, the former paratrooper. But yeah.
Can you bring me down that box?
It's crazy. It's crazy that.
Never mind.
You get referred to as a paper cut or a scratch.
It puts it into perspective, though.
It's good though. It's a bit of, well, like we said earlier, it's a bit of banter between the amputee world. Congratulations.
If I see somebody like today, I was in Cabela's, it's like our best pro shops.
Yeah.
And I saw this kid walking around with one of those boots, the plastic boot.
Oh, the moon boot.
Yeah. And I walked up to him and I said, if you cut that off, it won't hurt anymore. And he just kind of looks at me like, what the fuck?
Fucking crazy veteran, man.
No, he didn't know I lost my leg until I showed him. Most people don't notice it until I show them. And they're like, oh, that's freaking hilarious. But it's like, I'll be at a restaurant or something and somebody will be complaining about their knee or their ankle. And they'll be like, oh, my knee, it hurts so bad. And I just kind of like, please tell me more.
Yeah, I miss my friend.
I was like, do you not know that mine's fucking gone?
Yeah, that's me. My wife finds it hilarious. So every time I wake up, it's as I don't know. I've got basically zero ligaments left in my ankles anyway. They're shot to shit. Whether well, we found out it's a hereditary thing, but it's also I played a lot of basketball. I played obviously in the military, carrying loads of weight, etc., etc. I've got my ankles are shit. I'll walk down a straight road and I'll roll my ankles, and it's as though
Do you have the exoskeletons?
Do I have an exoskeleton?
Yeah, they have this cool fucking thing that literally straps to your calf and straps to your foot, and it's like a carbon fiber exoskeleton for your fucking ankles.
I need that because
Yes,
I literally roll it for no reason, and my wife finds it hilarious because I will.
Do you remember this sponsorship thing I was talking about?
Yeah,
you could get this rolling.
I could.
Exoskeleton. Just saying. It's always no unless you ask.
Exactly. But yeah, it's funny when I wake up in the morning. She's like, "It's like you have to warm up." I get out of bed and I'm like, I'm like a 90-year-old man strolling around.
Where's the grease gun?
Yeah. You got any of that oil for my ankles? Because it's hilarious. It really is.
Do you wear like the copper fit socks?
I do when I'm playing sport. If I'm playing soccer or boxing or anything like that, then I'll strap my ankles up properly. But in theory, according to my physiotherapist, when I was going through that in the Air Force, they were like, you need to strap that up daily and do all the band work and etc. etc. I was like, well, I don't really want to do that because it's boring. it's stupid. I'm aware. I should have completed the physiotherapy properly, like you're supposed to. But no, I was like, when can I get back to lifting weights, etc. These bands are shit and annoying.
Yeah, I need to exercise more, but I fish 4 or 5 days a week, so I'm out on the water for 8-9 hours a day. It's actually a lot of work.
It is.
So you'll just have to fly over to Green Bay and we'll go fishing.
Yes. Do you know you're now you're getting all the good numbers. So you're the 4th or 5th amazing American that's invited me over. I'm gonna have to take someone up on this offer soon. I've had
I even got a place for you to stay.
I had Adam Dorito invited me out to Colorado.
Beautiful country.
Brian Basho that's invited me out to New York. Yourself to Wisconsin.
Where in New York?
I have no idea. I think it's more New Jersey.
Don't go to New York. That's scary shit.
Yeah, I'm not in for that.
You can come to cheese country. I'll introduce you to cheese curds.
Nice.
And we can go deer hunting.
Oh, you've sold me.
Come on out.
Sold. So what have you got planned for the rest of your day?
I am actually, I retired in 2012 and I became like 100% bass fisherman. And then when I moved to the town we live in now, I got voluntold to be part of the wrestling committee. So I help run the wrestling program in Luxembourg. It's Luxembourg, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then
I got that.
I got voluntold to start a high school bass fishing team.
Oh.
So I have to pack up the boat in the truck, and I'm taking 4 young high school kids about 4 hours away for the state championships. And if one of those 2 teams places in the top 2, they get to go to nationals and they can win $100,000 college scholarship.
Jeez.
Yeah.
For fishing.
Wish they had that shit when I was in high school.
Oh, that's madness. That's awesome. That is awesome.
It takes my time. I feel like, I tell everybody I got 3 pillars. I'm trying to get into the whole public speaking thing, and I'm slowly getting there, but I feel like a lost, I'm not a sheep, let's say a lost wolf, kind of wandering around. But
be a sheepdog.
I tell everybody, yeah, there you go. I have 3 pillars. So when you get out of the military, or when I was in the military, you know, everybody knew who I was. I had a purpose. I had a mission.
Yep.
You know, there was some identity there. So I tell everybody that when you get out, you got to find three things: a purpose, you need to find your identity, and you need to do something you love. So I try to, if I can motivate or help one person a day, that's my purpose. My identity, I'm kind of in the bass fishing world / hey, I got a documentary on Netflix that I didn't get paid a dime for. And then do something I love is my fishing.
That's
yeah, did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
We did that documentary.
Motherfuckers.
10 years of filming. We didn't get a penny, not one dime. And what's funny is you Google my name, Google Brian Eisch net worth, and it says 17 million. I said, well, that's all fine and dandy, but I'm about 16.9 short.
Jesus Christ.
So when everybody finds out where that is, could you please tell me where it is? Because I could use it.
Yeah. Jesus. Motherfuckers. How fucking dare they?
Yeah. And you're telling me Netflix didn't make any money? Yeah, right.
Yeah. They spent it all on Stranger Things.
Here's some homework for you.
Oh.
Look at the reviews, the Metacritic review scores from my documentary versus something like Lone Survivor. Remember Lone Survivor?
Yeah.
Peter Berg made $360 million in the first year it was out.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's got a Metacritic score like 73%. And our documentary's got a Metacritic score of 91%.
Ah.
And I didn't get a fucking penny.
Motherfuckers.
Oh. So I'm like, I have to go this public speaking realm because I need to get something out of this. I don't think anybody does something for nothing.
No, exactly. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Hold on.
We're about to die.
I need to cuss my kid out.
That was a lot quicker to connect that time.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice.
What
do you drink for like energy drinks? Do you drink anything like that?
Occasionally. The standard fucking Monster is tend to be the go-to. Yeah.
No.
That tends to be the go-to. But we now have, like, I think Rain is a new one that's sort of out, which isn't too bad. I don't tend to drink many energy drinks, apart from nice big cup of coffee. That's about it.
I got rid of the I used to do the Rip It. That's the free shit we got in Afghanistan.
Yes, Rip It. Do you know what? We went out on patrol with we were doing a handover from ourselves to what the fuck? Hold on. There we go. You're back. It just cut me off here for a second then. We went out on patrol during a handover phase. Do you know what? I believe it was with the 10th Mountain Division, but I don't know if I'm 100% right there. But we were handing over to them in Kandahar.
Uh-huh.
And we were out on patrol in whatever work vehicles they were using. I can't remember what it was at the time. And they went, "Are you guys thirsty? Do you guys want to?" Because we literally carry just water. That's all we get given, water. And it was like, "Yeah, no, we're perfectly hydrated." And they went, "Nah. Do you want a Coke or a Sprite or?" We got Rip It, and we were like, "Yes, we want to Rip It. Give me a Rip It." Because I remember having Rip It when we were out in Basra, and I was buzzing off my tits for like hours. It was, and it's a small can. I was like, "This is literally like that."
I loved, when we'd be back on refit and one of the kids was in the tower and there was like a 6-pack of Rip Its up there and he had them all gone and he's like fucking wired and I'm like, you're not going to wake up for an entire day, right?
Yeah, and you're going to have heart palpitations. You may die. It's I'll send you a link. My regiment did a advert for Rip It while we're in Basra, and it is the cringiest, horrible fucking thing ever.
What was the Afghan version of it? Fucking Tiger something.
Oh, I can't remember somebody else.
It tasted like straight cough syrup.
Horrible.
Ah, the good old days.
Yeah, but other than that, I'll take a monster every now and then. Never
So
read.
did you watch the TikTok video about like Monster and Red Bull and the acid levels and how long it takes for you to leave your body?
Dude,
I'm like, that's why I'm fucking fat. I gotta stop drinking that shit.
yeah, you could be right. But no, I haven't seen that. But then again, my daughter's been telling me I need to get TikTok, and I'm like, no.
Oh my god, it's addictive. It's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
It is. I'm like a 12-year-old in a 47-year-old body. Like, it's just once you get to 1,000 followers, you get like what they call creator tools, and you can literally do anything you want.
Well,
Yeah,
perhaps
like I got Little Jackson.
Little Jackson on it, is he?
I said I got him on TikTok, and he's running around the house like a crazy man, and I got the music behind it. I'm fast as fuck, motherfucker. You can't catch me. You know, I don't think you know just how fast I am. You know what song I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah. I know the one. So yeah, my eldest is on it. She's like an editing whiz on there. And she was like,
I'm telling you right now, you won't do podcasts anymore. You'll just sit on TikTok.
But from what I've heard, it goes like hand in hand, especially with clips and things like that. So I can clip and edit and put it onto TikTok, and I could get fucking more followers than I have on Instagram or whatever. And it's like, but I'm a bit of a techno biff. I don't really know what.
Well, can you raise your camera a little bit so I can see your top of your flag? Because I'm gonna make it. There you go.
He's gonna make me famous.
I'm gonna make TikTok famous. I'm gonna post that here in a little while. TikTok famous. I think I'm only at like 1,500 on TikTok, but I got like 9,000 on Facebook. I'm getting there slowly.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's mad, right? Because I've had some guests on the show that have got like tens of thousands of people following them. Some of them have got what I call the blue tick brigade. They've got thousands of followers. They're verified, all this. I'm like, hey, can you share some of my stuff because you are on my podcast? Help me grow, motherfuckers. Yeah, a few of them do. Okay. A few of them just fucking ignore you, and it's like, oh, I see what it is.
No, I'll hook you up. Not that I have a lot of influence, but hashtags I think go a long ways.
Yes, and I'm trying to figure out the hashtags. Like,
I just do anyone that comes to mind.
Yeah, I've got a few that I use, and I even use stupid things like cats of Instagram and things like that, because I know it's got like 100 million fucking likes on it or whatever follow. So I'm like, well, someone's gonna fucking see it. But then you get all the Russian bots on there. I'm lonely.
Oh my God.
I'm a lonely housewife. No, you're not.
Yeah, how many wives do I need, right?
What are you trying to steal from me? Stop it.
You want to make $1,000 a day on TikTok? Shut the hell up.
I had a bloke. Oh, it was in my you know when you get a DM and it goes into like a requested file or whatever.
Yep, hidden.
Yeah, the hidden one. So I clicked on that, and I had one from a bloke who says, do you want to promote your page through my company? And I looked at it, and he had
I get 6 a day.
He had 92 followers. I went, I've got more followers than you. Why do I need to promote with you, you dickhead?
I probably get 6 to 10 of those a day. I'm like, well, you're from the Philippines. Like, what are you going to do for me?
Yeah, I know. But I like
nuts.
I like the way that my podcast is growing. I get to speak to some cool people like yourself, and unlike some podcasts that have to do it face to face, I quite like the Zoom, even though the technology can be a bit of a pain in the ass of phone signal and things like that. But as much as I would love to like fly yourself out to the UK and sit in my shed, which sounds very appealing, I know.
Is there beer?
it's just, oh, of course, there's beer. There's beer. There's whiskey. There's Black Ops rum when they sponsor me.
Black Ops, get on this guy. He's going places.
It's ever growing. It is ever growing, and like you said, and I loved it. And I'm going to use that clip as my little promo for this episode. That you got to have those three things, because I was the same as most veterans when I leave the military. I lost my purpose, which is why my mental health went on such a decline. I was in shit state because I was no longer Tommo the gunner. Yeah, well, cool.
Yeah.
And someone would say to me, "What do you do for a living?" And before it was, "Oh, I've just got back from Afghanistan." It's now, "Oh, I'm a security guard." It's like, oh, brilliant. So
I tell everybody my documentary is my upside down roller coaster.
Yeah. And it was very eye-opening as well. It's brilliant. It's annoyingly that you haven't been paid for it. It was very well made. It was very good. However, you with something like that now, when you look back on it, filming for 10 years and they've made an hour and a half or just over an hour and a half's worth of footage, which was brilliant. Could have been made into like a series.
A mini series, yeah. I think they wanted to paint the picture that I was PTS and Maria was my savior.
Ah, got you.
Yeah. But they didn't show all the footage, so we'll just leave that at that.
Oh, we'll keep that hidden for another time. Yeah, you could see that they were going down that route.
Yeah.
And you could also see that they were trying to paint your eldest boy to be suffering quite badly with mental health issues.
I get the only flack I get was my comment in the truck about you're not going to college, you're joining the Army. And that's one of the things they didn't know that the documentary didn't show is he was getting in trouble and didn't have the grade point. He had like a 2.4.
Oh,
he wasn't getting into college. I knew he was joining the military.
Yeah,
and the little fucker still owes me $400.
Of course he fucking does.
Yeah.
No, they don't show that. They no offense to your boy, but they make out like he's like a super student, and he's off to college.
He went down hard and fast, and then now he's just now starting to come out of it. He had a rough patch there for a couple years.
He did. You could see throughout. Obviously, there's clips of him constantly trying to help you out. There's or doing things for you. Maybe not helping you out, but
he's the most loyal kid any dad could ever ask for. Like if I said I need you here and I need you here right now, he'd be there.
Yeah, and you could see, you could see it, and you could also see it's like you've obviously got sole custody of the kids, so he's not seeing his birth mum. His dad's gone off on deployment, got shot, and come home. You're like, well, that's going to affect you. And then, unfortunately, his youngest brother youngest brother passed away, and it's like, wow, he's been through a lot.
Yeah, but again, I tell him all the time, yeah, a lot of shit's happened, but guess what, dude? Keep going, like forward. There's nothing back there, right? I say up or down, and what I mean by that is down is, this sounds so like childish, but
no.
Down is the darkness, and the darkness sucks.
Of course.
I mean, it's that simple. I hate being down.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes. I've been in some dark, horrible places myself because I wasn't taught, didn't know, and didn't want to know how to deal with issues inside my head. So I went on a downward spiral. It wasn't nice, but I went on and broaden my mind. I went on a few courses. I actually started talking about things openly. Excuse me. And I've even had to sit and have conversations with my eldest daughter about her. She suffers quite badly with anxiety, and she does have depressive thoughts. She's not depressed, but she does have annoying little thoughts. But she's also turning into a young woman, which doesn't help.
They grow horns and fangs.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting. But I'm always saying to her, do you understand what depression is? And she's like, no. Can you? And I'm like, well, it's concentrating on things that are in your past, in your history, that you can't change. You can't change it. It's done.
You have to focus on positive shit.
And when you have
people don't
exactly, and I'm always saying you have to live today. Don't live in front. You start living in front of yourself, then that's when the anxiety takes over, because you're thinking about it too much and you're getting anxious. Live for today, and we'll all be happy as Larry, as us Brits would say. I don't even know who this fucking Larry is, but he's well happy.
Roger, who the fuck is Roger? Yeah.
Yeah. My brother says that to me. My brother is not a military man at all. And he'll say something like, I'm seeing you this weekend, and I'll text him back and go, yeah, Roger that. He's like, who the fuck's Roger? I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying. Stop being a dickhead.
Exactly. I forget. I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. Oh, well.
Dementia, that is.
Oh, yeah. It's getting there. Getting older.
It's cracking on. Yeah. It's awesome though that in your retirement that you're now giving back to the schools and other sort of programs. That's awesome.
I talk at probably 3 to 5 schools a year. Veterans Day, obviously. I spoke down at a VFW last week, Veterans of Foreign Wars. Do you guys have a VFW in England?
No. Veteran, apart from Remembrance Day, which I believe you guys call Memorial Day, the 11th of November, and sort of Armed Forces Day, which is the 26th, or well, I say 26th. It's the last Saturday in June, so it's usually around the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. That's Armed Forces Day. Other than that, veterans pretty much get forgotten about. And
so we have a VF.
Yeah, you guys have have Veterans Day and things like that, and which is awesome, because for me, Remembrance Day or Memorial Day, as you guys call it, that's a time for remembrance. That's not a time to come up to like the likes of myself and others that have served and gone, thank you for your service. It's not for that. It's for those that have lost their lives.
Yeah.
And for us to remember them and have a drink. Armed Forces Day is for those. This is my opinion. I'm probably completely wrong. Armed Forces Day is for those that are currently serving.
Yeah, I agree.
Drink to that, because you guys have given up your lives to represent the country and fight for the country, and us lot are just sat here going, I'm gonna have some coffee. Or some Black Ops.
Well, the VFWs, they're kind of like every town has a VFW, and you have to be a combat veteran to be in this thing. You pay a membership, and it's just a place to hang out and get cheap drinks. But I speak at a lot of those. Speak at a couple motorcycle rallies, but just got to keep. I don't know. You know, like I always hear the stories growing up about, oh, Grandpa won't talk about the war and Grandpa won't do this. So I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. So I'm just going to talk about it, and I feel better when I talk about it.
We have we have a similar sort of thing. Granddad, well, I can even speak from experience. My granddad never talked about his time during World War II and other conflicts that he went to. He ended up getting a Medal of Gallantry as well. which none of my family knows what he got it for, which is bizarre because he wouldn't talk about it. My nan doesn't talk about it.
Did I ever finish rambling about that? You asked about the medals. My medic and I both got the Bronze Star for Valor.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know.
But which is awesome. And another thing that you guys get that
Purple Heart.
Our military doesn't get anything like that.
Wow. That gives me like free entrance into all the state parks. I get cabins cheaper.
Yeah. Literally, it's as though they. I'm gonna tread carefully on this. So during Iraq and Afghanistan, people couldn't do enough, and even down to the point we had an award ceremony for, it was called the Sons, the Sons fucking Help for Heroes Award or whatever it is, which was brilliant. But that then got changed.
You seriously do not get a medal?
Nope.
Wow.
Unless you are performing a act of valor, then you may get the Military Cross or the Victoria Cross. But other than that, nah.
My Purple Heart was pinned on me by the German Minister of Defense.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
So
because we were in a German sector.
Yeah, one of my close buddies, he struck an IED and lost both of his legs. Yeah, he has got a fantastic medal now. He's got an Olympic gold medal for murder ball or wheelchair rugby, as it's also known.
Nice. Yeah.
So he ended up he's done really well for himself, and big up to Robbo for that. But yeah, literally nothing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. But yeah, the fact that there's nothing
there, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I joke about that a lot. It's amazing what a soldier will do for a little 1-inch piece of cloth.
So here's a question for you. So
yeah,
say you got shot like you did. You came back, you were fine. You got your Purple Heart because it's whether you're wounded in combat, isn't it? The Purple Heart.
Yeah, you got to be wounded in combat. Yep.
So say your wound is okay. You didn't lose your leg, and you went out and did another one, and you got shot again. Do you get another one or?
Yep.
So you could get like a big long line of.
You get a little device on your Purple Heart that shows you have a second one. I know a guy with 3 Purple Hearts.
That's kind of cool.
Like, why the fuck would you keep going back and doing that? Like,
yeah,
you're a magnet for
you're
problems,
a magnet,
guy.
yeah. Also, come on, man, chill the fuck out.
Well,
you need to go back to basic training. Why are you getting shot so much?
Speaking of awards, there's 2 awards that when I joined the Army, I was told you never want these 2 awards. One is the POW ribbon because your ass got caught. Why would you put a ribbon on your chest saying my ass got caught?
Yeah.
And 2 was the Purple Heart because you're an enemy marksmanship badge. You're proof the enemy can shoot. Like, so it's like, but now that I have one, I'm like, no, I'm fucking wearing that motherfucker. I don't know. I think it's right over here. Yeah.
It is quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did used to wind up in Bastion.
My little rack.
But when we were serving with the Marines, that's cool. That's cool. We used to wind the Marines up. We'd say, well, you get a medal for passing basic training. So we're not talking to you.
True, right?
We're not listening to you. And they're like, well, yeah. And it's like, well done. It's like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. We get a certificate to say, congratulations, you passed basic training. I can get hung up on the wall. Fine. But Fuck you. It's like, but they were
Yeah,
like,
but
so,
Marines, it's got to be hard though. It's like,
I did ask him, and it's a tricky subject because obviously we have less soldiers, so we have to have a higher basic training to make sure we don't have shit soldiers. Our infantry phase for training is 29 weeks.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Is there time off during that?
Yeah. So what? So what we had was you do your first month, then you get a weekend off. You get to go home. Your family can come and see you. Then you have, I believe, another month or so. Most weekends you can go home, basically, unless you screw up. Then you pass out, have all your family down, and then you go on to advanced phases and learn the bigger weapon systems and things like that. Well, it's crazy. We are highly trained, but obviously it's trying to get the caliber of woke human into the military these days is quite difficult.
All right, come here, give me a hug.
Yeah, mate, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You
So
want to use that bathroom or this one?
Yeah, one of my buddies was an instructor on basic training for a bit. He was one of the corporals on basic training, and one of the lads wasn't doing what he was told, so he called him a cunt, and he got called in front of what is known as Ofsted, which is like the training or teaching sort of inspectors, you might say. They even go around to normal schools and like critique it. And he was like, why am I in front of you? And they went, well, you called one of your students a cunt. And he went, well, he was.
Like, what the fuck?
It's like what the fuck? We're training to kill people, and he can't take the fact that I called him a cunt.
Call it the way I see it. Any questions?
And I was like, he was telling me about it, and I was like, I remember going through. We did a phase during our basic training called bayonet phase, and basically learning how to use a bayonet properly. And it is basically the time where we then go from Air Force to basically infantry. You're now elite, as it were. Yep. And we were going through it, and I remember standing there marking time, shouting kill, kill, kill. And my instructor came right in my face. He was like, Thompson, you're no good, you're a cunt. And he was proper shouting in my face. And I've got a short temper anyway, and I was like, I'm going to lose it in a minute. And then he headbutted me and split my eye open. I had blood pissing down my head. And I was like, and he was like, now go kill the fucking enemy. And obviously you go and kill the plastic dummy, thinking it's the enemy. You've lost your temper. You've got to kill something. I'm going to kill a dummy. And I remember finishing that. I had a big gash in my eyebrow. I had a gash in my hand from where one of the other recruits stabbed me in the hand because he's a fucking useless cunt. And I remember that in my head, and I was like, so this guy is moaning because a teacher called him a cunt, but yet back when I went through training, I got headbutted and my eyebrow split open, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, I kind of.
And you're still told to stop whining.
Yeah. Why are you bleeding? It's like, I didn't tell you to bleed. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Yeah. Well, services are very much the same.
Yeah.
No matter the country, we got the same problem here.
Yeah, we've now it was kind
you
of
need a good war.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Oh, bring them home. Did you ever ask the soldiers if they wanted to come home? I personally like deployments because it's all tax free. I'm making some money.
Yeah.
I saved
Is it?
like almost $40,000 while I was
Yeah,
deployed.
it's mad. It's mad. And even my wife says, but most of the mums and other dads on like the school run and things, they always come up to me and they go, would you do it again? Yes. I've never,
Absolutely.
and they go, why? And I went, do you know what? I've never been as much as at peace as I've ever been is in the midst of chaos.
Yeah.
And I'm surrounded by people that were on the same
Have
wavelength.
the same. Yep.
We're all the same.
It's an eerie calmness.
I'm lucky that I've got two of my best friends literally live 5 minutes down the road from me. So if I ever need the military infantry fix, I will go and say hello to my buddies. And one of them, he's still got the dark. He's darker. He's darker than most infantrymen anyway. There's a screw loose somewhere. But it's little things.
Oh yeah.
But it's little things, and it still makes me laugh. Now I was on a school run on a school pickup. My daughter came over with her friend, and she was like, "This is my dad," and then she went, "Oh, what's your name?" And then my mate Dan just came out of nowhere, and he went, "His name is Nonce Thompson." I was like, "What? Why would you say that?" He basically said to this little girl that I was a paedophile. I was like, "Why would you do that?" And he went, "Funny."
So
he went, "It's funny, isn't it?" And I went, "No, it's not funny. She could go home to her mum now and say." He went, "Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?"
Yep.
I was like, "Fuck you." The amount of times I've said to him, if we met now, we wouldn't be friends. But
yeah, that's the good humor.
It is. And
yeah,
you know what? I wouldn't change them for the world. The friends the actual friends that I've got wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it for the world. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I have a lot of good friends that I miss, and some I don't. You know, there's some people didn't care for me, and that's fine too.
Yep, I 100% agree on that. And even down to the fact when I first started the podcast, when I wrote my book, etc. etc. You always get the dickhead trolls, and from looking back, there's probably about 2 or 3 that actually served with me personally. One of them was an actual, what I call a friend. He was actually at my wedding. But the majority, I look and I'm like, I don't even know you. Never even met you. But
yeah,
I would have referred to you as a brother because we served in the same regiment. But when I look back on it, the actual majority of the friends that I served with, went through basic training with, went on deployments with, have been nothing but golden to me. Fantastic.
Yep.
So
yep.
to all the haters, to all the haters, all the other trolls, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I got a lot of my soldiers reach out to me, and boy, does it give you a good feeling when they say, "Hey, you know, still here." I'm like, "All right, cool."
That's yeah, I like that. And I've had it.
Are you good on?
Oh, signal went a bit
We
funny.
talk a lot. I said, "Are you good on time?" We talk a lot.
We have got 7 minutes.
Okay.
We do talk a lot. Do you know what was funny when I left the house to come down to the shed? My wife said, "I'll see you tomorrow," and I went, "Nah, I'll be back up in the house in a bit. We'll have a glass of wine or whatever. We'll be fine." Nah. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock my time. So living the dream.
Oh shit.
Now we'll be good. Yeah. She also said, "Enjoy your hangover." But
oh yeah. I don't know. I have a drink every once in a while. I don't go crazy.
no, I don't go crazy. I have finished the buffalo though. The buffalo's gone. That was a Father's Day gift from the girls, which was nice.
Good shit.
It's good shit. It really
Good
is.
stuff.
I do like
Yeah.
that. It's one of the better whiskeys that I've had in my life.
Yeah, I like Buffalo Trace. I've been slowly experimenting. I've had a couple that are just like too bitter for me. I'm like, nope, can't do
Yeah.
that one.
There's some that you take a sip and you're like, whoa, why am I drinking
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is in there?
Why am I drinking gasoline? This is
No
horrendous.
shit, right?
Definitely.
Oh,
But Brian, genuinely, I'm gonna call it a day. This genuinely fantastic guest. Thank you very much for coming on.
well, we got to stay in touch for sure.
Oh, definitely. I'm coming out to shoot some deer.
You better. And we're going fishing. Fishing's my thing, but I can hook you up with the deer.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely fish. You'll laugh at me because I'm no good, but definitely 100%.
Have fun.
We'll sort this out.
Promise.
And enjoy
right.
enjoy your wrestling and fishing with the kids. A big up to the little man. A big up to the little man. Hopefully he gets another medal.
All right, sounds good, bro. Appreciate it.
I'll catch you soon.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you again.
Sir. No, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for your time. Cheers.
Bye.